In what ways is Tallinn setting a good example for other European cities in the environment field and also in green energy?
Yesterday we've seen some examples of Tallinn investing a lot of energy and money also in improving the energy efficiency of housing. So people are getting better houses with lower energy bills, and it's really good for the environment too. So that's very good that Tallinn is doing this.
That's very nice to hear. And also, what do you think about our free public transport? Should it also be implemented in other countries and cities around Europe?
Well, I would really like to see it in other countries too, because of course it's very accessible to a lot of people, and people are really using a lot of the cars less, so that's good.
And now I would like to ask, is it more environmentally friendly to live in a modern city or in the suburban areas?
When people are living in modern cities, in compact cities, they're more environmentally friendly because they're using less resources to travel around or for heating, so they're more efficient if they're living in modern cities.
And also, how hard is it to draw the line between renovating older buildings and tearing them down and building a new one? When does it become more energy efficient to just build a new building?
Of course, tearing down a building costs energy, but also making the new construction materials costs energy. And it's quite a complicated calculation to see what's more energy efficient, but you have to take it on a case-by-case basis, but then you can really calculate it.
Are there any upcoming innovational solutions which can make housing even greener energy-wise? Should we be keeping an eye on something?
I don't know of anything specific, but there's a lot of things going on in the construction field. So people are constantly improving the way we build houses, and we improve the way we live. So it's always good to follow what the developments are.
What about solar energy? Should it be implemented and used more also in city landscapes?
Well, I think it's very easy to put solar cells on the roofs of buildings without them being in full view. So you can very easily put them someplace, and they will not be in the way of anybody, and they will really help for lowering the energy use.
Both Markku Markkula and Taavi Aas emphasized the role of cities and regions in implementing green energy solutions. But what role should the state play?
I think it's much easier for regions and for cities to play a big role because they're much more in contact with the inhabitants and with the companies. But states should, and the European Union should also provide the frameworks, the legal frameworks for the cities and the regions to work within. So that's very important to do that. And the practical things like working with inhabitants, working with companies to really achieve good effects, that's for the regions and the cities, I believe.
Is the EU planning to set some additional standards or regulations to move forward the green energy transition?
Well, I think the European Union is not ambitious enough. If we look in practice, we see that the cities and regions are much more ambitious. And I think that's because as regions and cities, we are really working with the people, working with the inhabitants. We are seeing what can be done. And for the member states of the European Union, it's a lot harder to see that. So they're less ambitious. And we would really like to see the European Union to be more ambitious about their energy efficiency goals.
Many giant companies have also started to emphasize green solutions. Do they have the power to also influence governments to focus more on environmental problems?
Yes, I feel so. So if the companies really put pressure on the governments will listen to them.
Can Europe give up fossil fuels in the near future? And will giving up fossil fuels solve most of our climate and environmental problems?
Well, I'm not sure if it's in the near future, but we can really reduce the use of fossil fuels. We can use a lot of wind energy or solar energy or other electrical current-based solutions for heating or for warm water in houses. So we can really build all electric houses without the use of fossil energy. So it's possible, but to make the transition it will take a lot of time, I think.
What problems do we already face due to the ever-growing population, and what problems will it cause for us in the future?
Well, this is a very general question, of course, but people use resources, and already people on Earth use too much resources. So we are really using the Earth too fast. So if we have more people, it will only increase the problem. So we should not have too much children, but enough, of course, to to make sure that the society will keep working.
Could also education and policy making help to alleviate the problems and make them less harsh?
Yeah, when people know what they're doing, when they are aware of environmental problems and what they can do to have less impact on the environment, people will change their behavior. So education will help.